experience yesterday at the Rainbow Gathering 2026 in Allegheny Forest. And this is my first Rainbow Gathering. I went with my son Noah, and although I must admit my experience is limited. I went there only for one day, which it's admittedly very limited. But I was able to observe some things, and just wanted to share my experience because this was my first. It was Noah's first, and it was only an hour and a half from my house, so I really wanted to go. It was just kind of hard with having two very young babies and everything, that involves that. So anyway, so yeah, some things I observed. Going into the festival, I didn't have any problems with police. The festival was the gathering was on a one-way forest road. So that was one thing people were having issues with, was getting pulled over for going the wrong way on a one-way. I went the right way on the one-way, and very shortly after being on this road, I was basically run off the road by two forest ranger vehicles that were going the wrong way on the one-way, going pretty fast in the middle of the road, and I was pretty much forced to get off of the road or on the side and and just stop while they passed. So that was pretty rude, but I didn't really expect anything else from them. And so I parked, walked in. It was about a quarter mile from where I parked to the main entrance, and it was a pretty for a rustic path. I was pretty impressed at how smooth everything was. It was about 2 miles in, 2.5 miles, something like that. And I just brought a backpack and I carried Noah by hand because I didn't want to walk around the whole gathering with hard frame backpack carrier for him, or a front carrier, which he doesn't like anyway. And I got there later than I wanted. I wanted to get there for the main circle, but I got there for the festivities afterwards. So we immediately went into the main circle and got some watermelon and did some dancing and circumambulated, got the vibes. And they meet, so it's like at least a month or so where people are actually there setting everything up. I was very impressed with the level of organization, but also there's a council that leads a lot of things, and a organizing team, but there's no one single leader, which I really love. It was beautiful to witness a group of people just working together for the common goal of world peace. So everybody prays for world peace on the 4th of July, following a silent meditation for a period of time. And that was really beautiful. I mean, I saw people from all walks of life. I actually hung out with this professor from Ethiopia a lot, and there was, crust punk, gutter punks, wooks, hippies, and Hare Krishnas, and herbalists, and people that looked fairly normal too. It was really beautiful. Everybody's very welcoming and open. If you needed anything, pretty much everybody had you covered, and people wanted to give. That's a thing with the rainbow. Everything is for trade. There's no money exchanged. I guess, it's just the whole idea is that we can live in a society without money. We can trade. But people come here and they bring everything in through this one path, which like it's not an easy path when you're carrying a bunch of stuff. And they brought enough stuff to have like a little pageant, pageant show at the Granola Funk theater. Like there was like a 7-year-old girl playing flute, and Noah got up and performed, and it was really beautiful. Everybody's so friendly. Do you need anything? Does he need anything? And never met these people before in my life, but it really does feel like family when you're there. And everybody always says welcome home, and loving you family, and it was beautiful. And I would definitely go back, and Maria wants to go whenever it's not so difficult with the kids. So yeah, I was amazed at how well organized all of it was, and there was a health area, so I hung out there. There was Seven Song, as an herbalist, he was there, and friend AC from the plant cunning community, she was there. Hey, bud. Wow. If anybody needed anything health-wise, they were covered. And so I was very impressed with everything overall. There's lots of kitchens everywhere. The Hare Krishnas have their own kitchen where they feed people. There's free food everywhere. We brought a lot of our own food. I didn't want to be totally just dependent on everyone around me and be, that kind of impact. But I was able to get a lot of really good free food, and went there with, met some friends there and saw the camp that they set up. And, it's kind of like one of those things where if you pitch in, you can pretty much be a part of it and be supported and support others. And if you have more to give, then you give. Yeah, it was really incredible. The only complaint I have is that there was, two complaints. The main complaint I have is that there was a serious amount of dogs not on leashes. And it's not just me being a paranoid parent, like actually talking with the health people and saying like, what's the main thing that you're seeing here? And the main thing is dog bites, because there's fucking dogs not on leashes. And the other complaint I had was that I saw a lot of children that were unattended, like pretty young kids, like under 10 years old, just walking by themselves everywhere. And like the rainbow people will say too, like there are people here that are not rainbow that take advantage of, the kindness of others. And, it's not all free love whenever, your baby gets kidnapped or you get bit by a dog that is, should be muzzled or on a leash. And that's the thing about like, groups that, like have a perceived lack of boundaries. And it's not everybody there. Like I know that it's not, the rainbow community as a whole, but, people think my dog is well behaved, or, it's a large area. Why do I need my dog on a leash? And the reality is that dogs are animals and you can't predict their behavior. I've seen plenty of, reported well behaved dogs that did not behave well. And my dog would never bite anybody, and then boom, dog attacks somebody or another dog. What the fuck is that? Sorry, just hear a really loud noise. Yeah, and I think that, going there, I felt like kind of overstimulated, so I definitely went to some parts that were less populated to kind of recharge, and Noah was definitely getting a little overstimulated too. So we were able to recharge, and that was really nice. And it made me appreciative of having boundaries and having like my own interdependence, separate from others. And that's one thing I observed too, is like, there's all these little camps, and they're all just in their own little ecosystem, but they're part of a greater whole. And I think that there's something beautiful about that we can kind of glean from as a society and as a human race, is that having interdependent systems that all share a common goal of coming together for world peace. Like, why the fuck not, man? Like, because the system that we're in right now is not really like working. It's capitalism, but it's not even like conscious capitalism. Like, we're in this kind of vampiric system that doesn't care for the people who are not doing well, and that's a major problem. We live in a system where people are taken advantage of and exploited, and I think that you take something like the Rainbow Gathering, which has been going on since the 70s, and you can see that people that don't even have a lot of means, maybe, but they have the intention to gather and work together as a tribe, even if they have different belief systems, different religions, different race, different creed. They all come together to form the rainbow, right? Like, it's all the different spectrums in all their uniqueness coming together as one band, one frequency of light. And it was really beautiful to witness that. But yeah, the only complaint I had was just seeing just random stray dogs everywhere, and knowing that some of those dogs cause problems, and some of the owners cause problems. And there's a lack of responsibility in that regard, and also too, just with the children, like seeing some kids on their own just wandering around, and it made me really sad for them. But I know that most of them are going to be okay, and pretty much most people there mean well. But all it takes is one person to cause something really, really horrible to happen. And I just think that there is a lack of responsibility for some people, and unfortunately, like with the dog situation, that bleeds out to affect other people. And yeah, I've always been a dog person my whole life. I've had dogs throughout my entire life as a kid and an adult, and I became a parent, and I have way less tolerance for dogs' behavior, and I also have way less tolerance for people's lack of responsibility for their dogs. Because whenever you have kids, you realize like a dog can do a lot of damage to a small little person. Their mouths are right at eye level, and if you have you land one really good bite on a baby from a decent sized dog, that could be a lifelong issue for them. It could be potentially really bad. My brother was he was taunting a dog, and he got bit in the eye, and luckily he got surgery and he was okay, but he could have had some serious issues. But yeah, I and it made me more cautious at the event because I was literally watching a dog bite somebody right in front of me, and the owner wasn't doing anything about it, and it bit this guy multiple times. It was a little ankle biter dog. But I was like, seriously? Like, and the dog was getting closer to me and Noah, and I picked him up and stood up and was just like, I will punt your little dog across the field. Like, I won't hesitate either. And that's unfortunate because not everybody should have to defend themselves from a dog, and not everybody can, especially these larger dogs. But luckily I'm a big dude, and I could kick a dog pretty good if I needed to. I don't want to. I'm all about peace and love. But if you you fuck with me or my family, I will kick your dog pretty hard, or have to do something worse. But yeah, other than that, everything was really great, and I do plan to attend more rainbow gatherings when they make sense. And even talking to Maria about it today, and she would like to go to one for maybe a week or longer. I think a week is probably enough, honestly, but until our kids are older. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it makes me have a lot more faith in humanity, that we can actually come together and do something so amazing, like create a little village. Not a little, I mean, there's literally thousands of people here. You would just like walk around the woods and be like, okay, maybe this is the end of it. And you're like, wow, there's like 10 other camps right here with like 50 people everywhere. It's just like, wow. So yeah, that's my rainbow ramble. I would highly recommend you go. And another thing too, just last words for this was, rainbow people actually really frown upon photography and videos. I did take one picture, which I may or may not post, and I might have to blur. It was the main circle. I was kind of far away, so you can't really see people, but I might blur it if I do post it. But yeah, there was like, this very strange anomaly of like a whole society of people that live in the forest, and I did not see a single phone. I did not see anybody with their phone out. Like, I mean, there was no service, but normally when something interesting is happening, everybody whips their phone out and they're like recording it, and it's like, okay, yeah, I gotta record everything and post it. But here, man, people were just living in the moment. And that was pretty incredible. In a world where we kind of feel compelled to self-report and do all that kind of stuff, it was just really refreshing to see people actually just living in the moment. So, and that might be the most beautiful thing of all. So with that, I will conclude this ramble. Thanks for listening. And I hope everybody can experience the rainbow gathering at some point in their life. There's people of all shapes and sizes that manage to take this pilgrimage. I saw a lot of older people who are obese, people that had health conditions. They had help. I saw a blind guy getting help, but yeah, it's just really everybody you could possibly think of was there. And so yeah, loving you, fam. Welcome home.